Okay, so the only situations we haven't covered yet are what if they're taller than wide and using Photoshop. So let's take the scenario of when you have ones that are on the taller side. Now I can tell you from experience, anytime that it is not wider than it is tall, you're going to go with the 600 pixels tall. So let's go with one that's obviously taller than it is wide, and then we'll even go with a square one, and you'll see that no matter what, as long as it's not wider than tall, you are going to be maximizing the height. So let's make, just as a review here, new artboard. We want that artboard to be a width of 800 px for pixels. Tabbing over to the height and putting 600 px for pixels, and the inch equivalent to that is 11.11 inches wide and 8.33 inches tall. Then I take my artwork, place it in here. I'm assuming I don't need white space around it, but if I did, it would be the same story as like the first example. So here we go, just making sure that we are just slightly over there, and then we want to get down to the bottom corner here, go back to the direct selection tool, hold down the shift key and go just over, and command minus, take the artboard tool, and just to be on the safe side, let's really zoom in there. Back to the artboard tool, and there we are, just inside of it. And then we go and do our export, which I don't need to run over that again. You've seen it, and then I'll pause once I've had this in Photoshop. So here it is, opened up in Photoshop, and you can see the pixel dimensions 601, so just slightly over, which is fine on the height, and then obviously going to be less than 800 on the width, but that is fine for when they are not wider than they are tall. So I could go show you the square one, but the results are going to be the same. It's going to come out to, either exactly 600 by 600 or 601, 601, something along there. Again, if you're 2 to 3 pixels off, you're fine. If you're any more than that, then you're doing something wrong. So now let's look at an image that actually started in Photoshop and how you work with that. So this could be a photograph that you took or a project that you completed in Photoshop, which typically is not the best way to go if it's type driven. Usually you want to do all your images in Photoshop and then add your type in Illustrator. But let's open something up here. I'm just going to grab the simplest thing of all, just a simple old screenshot that I have here sitting on the computer. So this has no graphic design aspect to it. It's just something I happened to take a screenshot of a while ago. So the first thing that you would do in Photoshop whenever you open up any kind of image and you're not sure about its size is you go up to Image, Image Size, and then there are your pixel dimensions. So its width right now is 1256 and its height is 742. So for our purposes, we want to maximize a space that's 800 pixels wide, so this is too wide. So as soon as either one of these is over the max, you've got to change one of them, but the question in this case is which one do you change? So if you're already at 72 pixels per inch, this is even easier. Just make sure all these boxes are checked and then do what I'm going to do when I get to 72. If you're not at 72, generally what you want to do is check constrained proportions only. Which sometimes you have to trick the program by clicking resample image, then constrained proportions, then uncheck resample image. Now change your your resolution to 72. That way it doesn't mess with your pixel dimensions. Then once you have that changed, let's see, I'm going to tab out of there just to make sure that that took. Now I'm going to click on resample image, and you can see that my pixel dimensions have stayed the same here. Then and it doesn't hurt to check all three of these now at this point. So if you were at 72 to start with, just check all three of these. Now what we do is we go in and we see which one of these we need to change. And you can't hurt anything here now that you've got this set up. So if I go to the height and I change the height to 600, because I have constrained proportions checked, it's automatically going to change the width appropriately. So we can see that the height at 600 satisfies the height, but the width is over 800, so that doesn't work. So then we go to the width, change it to 800. The height is at 473, which is less than 6, so that's perfect. And we just click OK. Look at the image. We can hit the F key a couple times just to make sure that nothing went wrong there. Just double check before you save it. Go back into image size, and you should see that what you typed in last has saved. And then you would just do your file, save as, and then obviously if that was an important document to you, you'd want to save it out as a different copy. So you're going to pick JPEG and then save it at the highest quality setting here by sliding this all the way over to maximum, and everything else here just at the default should be fine. Click OK and you are done with that. So I think that should cover any situation that you should run into, but of course feel free to ask me if something doesn't make sense.